Okay, trying a new whiskey for the first time here. Suntory Whiskey, Toki. From the House of Suntory Whiskey, established in 1923. Japanese, 43% alcohol by volume, 86 proof. Eh, looks pretty neat. I don't know. Just saw it the other day. I kind of forgot I bought it. It's got an excellent seal. Really kind of neat. It's like a crimped, waxed paper here. And I was hoping, yeah, no, it's got to be a screw top. Okay. Usually I don't buy any screw top whiskey. Uh, it's not really my thing. That it's just what I'm used to. Cork top, nice old fashioned, works well. Uh, I do recommend the High West. Very good whiskey. And they use these old school type glass bottles that have a lot of beautiful air bubbles in the glass and kind of misshapen on the bottom, and they just feel great in your hand. So that's my typical whiskey is something with a cork top. It'd be nice if they put a cork top on here. Um, first try of it. Smells a little bit like scotch. It's got a little scotchy aroma. I have been drinking some of my fresh mead, which is still green. It doesn't have much alcohol in it, but let's say let's give this a shot. It's pretty clear colored whiskey. It's looks more like a scotch than a real barrel aged type whiskey, but let's see what it's like. It's very good, very smooth, a strong finish. It's definitely more along the lines of a scotch for my palate. I think anybody would agree. It's got that JB Scotch type flavor, but with a lot more smoothness. This is very enjoyable. That's pretty excellent stuff. I just picked it up. I saw it, uh, oddly enough, for just as American as they come, maybe. So much so that I've had to walk away from a lot of what my country has decided to do that is completely anti-American all over the friggin' place these days. Oddly enough, as that being kind of who I am, I really enjoy a lot of Japanese culture. So this bottle caught my eye for having, some of the linguistic characters of the Japanese, and um, I looked it over and read it, and I like the seal. I did. It's a nice seal, and it seemed like it would be a good quality whiskey. So it says a vivid blend of carefully selected Japanese whiskeys, silky with a subtly sweet and spicy finish. It's almost got that mustiness of a scotch. I don't know if people know what I'm talking about. If you're not really a liquor connoisseur, maybe you don't, but I prefer my alcohol to be unadulterated, typically. Sometimes on the rocks. I mean, it's nice to have a chilled drink. Um, I'd say that's a fairly accurate description. It's got a bit of a spicy notes at the very end. It finishes with. It's very smooth in the beginning. Then it comes in with that musty scotch type flavor band. And then it finishes spicy. Definitely that musty scotch to it. I'd say it's very enjoyable. Yeah, I believe I'll buy this again. Uh, One odd thing is a lot of folks, persons that I entertain, are not big liquor drinkers. It used to be that we entertained a lot more persons that really enjoyed straight liquor or liquor based beverages, but sort of had been forced to drink alone. Most people in my local area and most of my associates prefer beer. Uh, Sometimes wine. I did have a good friend of mine over the other day, and we enjoyed some cheese and crackers and selection of prepared meats for snacking and some wine with it, and that was good. Iced wine, nice in a hot afternoon. But as far as the straight whiskey is concerned, not a lot of connoisseurs, but my local liquor store over the last couple of years, after I brought up, asking if they had something with a cork in the bottle, certainly get the saliva going. This is good whiskey. It's good. Definitely recommend it. But so anyway, my local liquor store did get in a lot more types of middle of the road and higher end whiskeys that are really enjoyable. And for anybody that enjoys alcohol for the flavor and for the buzz, they'll probably know that different alcohols will give you different types of effects. So I do enjoy sampling different types to see what sort of interactions they have with my personal chemistry, and then sharing that with friends and family when they're interested. But like I said, a lot of my current associates prefer just beer, uh, which is fine. That's great. One thing I've noticed, and this is a different point than reviewing that whiskey. I recommend that for sure. Absolutely recommend the Suntory Whiskey Toki. Um, Excellent. Great flavor. It's got the musty scotchiness, so if you like scotch, this is going to be a whiskey that you really enjoy. It's definitely on the upper end of the quality spectrum and affordable. I personally enjoy a lot of Japanese culture, such as the pottery culture, where they really pioneered the idea that there's beauty based on something's history and marks of usage. So it's called wabi sabi, and it's the idea that an object is more beautiful due to having been utilized and bearing the marks of its history of utilization. So a school of pottery actually developed where uh, you intentionally tried to bring out these qualities of antiqueness in brand new pottery pieces. And I've got a couple of examples that I'd lucky enough to make back in high school that I enjoyed very much. Wabi sabi was probably the part of Japanese culture that really drew me and caused me to grab this bottle off the local liquor store shelf when I was perusing the aisle of whiskey and scotch and seeing what was available. and definitely do not regret it. This is good. But unfortunately, in America today, there's a lot of alcohol that is strictly produced based on uh, distilling any of the original uh, content of the mash out of the alcohol. So instead of having anything left over from what your mash was, your mash is what you're going to boil down and distill to get your alcohol. What they do, and as part of what happened, was when ethanol was forced onto this country and they skyrocketed all the grain prices because they were using corn to make very poor alcohol, that they added into the fuel supply, which eats away at all types of the original rubbers and gaskets and things that are in internal combustion motors. So it ruined a lot of chainsaws, ruined a lot of different motors, ruined a lot of vehicles, and it causes all kinds of problems. Turns out it doesn't save a dime of money or produce anything extra as far as the gross domestic product goes. It's a regulation that was introduced during the Bush era and really pushed forward during the Obama era.